So being a creator in St.
It's not even
Louis,
hot.
what are some of the hurdles that you've had to overcome?
I would say as a creator, one of the biggest things that I am very vocal about is the lack of support for St. Louis creators. And by lack of support, I mean opportunities. I do a lot of traveling to other cities to like go shoot with my friends that also do content creation. And it's like just the way that it's seen and approached in other cities is so different than here. And when I talk to my buddies that are up in New York, Chicago, they're like talking about, yeah, I just did a brand deal that was like, you know, it was like $5,000 for like a post. And I'm like, we're sitting here fighting for like free meals.
What's going on, Opecast? It's Brad and STL, and on today's episode, we're diving right into the interview that I did live here at Tech Artista in the Central West End with Dante. Now, you may know original Dante from his YouTube videos, Instagram, and one of the most talented creators in all of St. Louis. Well, if you didn't know, him and I actually share a studio space, and so it was a great privilege for both of us to be out here on this rooftop. It was a live recording that we put together literally in about 16 hours. And so we had Emos catering the food, we had narwhals, and it was a great time all around. And now you're probably going to listen and be like, oh, these guys are all over the place. And I'm not going to blame it just on the narwhals drinks, but it was just a good vibe. And so Dante and I plan to do a bunch more of these in the future, and we would love for you guys to be part of it. So this is essentially episode 10, chapter 1 of what Dante and I talk about. So you're going to have episode 20, chapter 2. So him and I will keep these conversations going, and he's one of the most talented creators, and it's a privilege to share this space with him. And now you guys are going to probably notice that the quality and sound is a little bit different. Our producer, he was out of town, and we were in the outside elements. You probably heard some sirens if we didn't edit it out. So yeah, let's get to it. A quick sidebar: the holidays are coming up, so we're going to have our local bestie join us here in the upcoming weeks to give us some things that you can do with your family, your friends, or by yourself if you love holiday lights. And you guys will hear from Carly again on a future episode interview. Yes, so Opecast is a podcast that's dedicated to changing the way you experience St. Louis, one episode at a time. So we go over some new things coming to the St. Louis, and then things that's going on this weekend. We bring on different people to just talk about food, because food is that beautiful thing that brings us all together. And when you realize, this person that's a comedian likes the same restaurant as you, you're like, oh, okay. You see him differently, right? So it humanizes people. But then also we bring on different guests. And so my guest today is Dante, but it's people that are, just doing great things. The social media realm, like all the creators, they don't get as much love. And a lot of them are the ones that are driving tourism, driving tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars into our city. Doing things they love. But man, I tell you, that Emo's pizza.
Yeah, that Emo's pizza,
was good, man.
that was clutch. That cauliflower crust, it tastes clean.
Yeah.
It tastes light.
It's a little more chewy.
Yeah.
I like it though.
Yeah.
Because it's
I guess we do have to give a shout out to Emo's, and you're decked out in the Emo's gear.
And also with narwhals. Check this out.
Yeah, narwhals. Cheers to that.
We had the zombie, we have blood orange, apple cider mimosa, spice pear, mezcal punch, and grapefruit whiskey sour.
This is fire.
Wait, I think the pumpkin one also.
This blood orange. I don't even really drink much, but honestly, like this is good.
It's dangerously good.
This is good. Dangerously good, he says.
Dante, we're here right now.
Yes.
There's been a lot of things going on recently with you, and we that's for a future podcast, because we're gonna see how this thing plays out. But for right now, I think today we're gonna just focus on what got us here into this moment. And so, what got you into, being creative? Like, was it something growing up that sparked that creative energy that you're like, all right, I'm going to be a creator?
I mean, I've been a creator. Like, I've just been a creative person ever since as far back as I can remember. Because I remember, like, growing up, I had this bin of action figures that I would give a backstory to, like, each and every one of them. But it was not like a set. It was just like random things that I accumulated. Like there was like a stuffed raccoon, there was a knight, a Viking, and then there was like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but I gave them all backstories. So like that's when I knew I just liked developing stories and like coming up with cool things. So then it translated into drawing cartoons, and I used to make comic books back in elementary school. And I used to like make these crazy comics, sell them in second grade. Like it was wild. It was wild. It was a whole experience.
Yeah.
I did get in trouble for it because eventually in 4th grade, I started adding cuss words. So one of my friend's parents found the comic in their backpack.
Oh,
so
man.
I got in trouble for that. Well, she told me, she was like, listen, I'm not going to tell your mom, but don't let me find another one of these in my house. And I'm like, all right, it's done. So that's whenever I stopped making comics and stopped hustling them. So
wait, 2nd grade?
that was 4th grade.
Fourth grade. And are you actually from St. Louis? Were you born in St. Louis?
So I was born actually in a very small town known as Farmington. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Yep. I was born there. I'm from Caledonia.
Oh.
It's legally a village.
Is that like saying, oh, I'm from St. Louis, but then you're like, you live out in
Like,
Winsville?
yeah, like I always give crap to St. Charles people, like trying to
Oh.
claim St. Louis. But at least I moved here like super quick into the city. So yeah, I'm legally from a village. The population was 130.
Wow.
There was no stoplight. There was a post office, a gas station, and like 3 houses.
Is there a water
I don't know
tower?
where the 130 actually came from. I feel like they kind of lied.
Round it
because
up.
like, I don't know, just the number of houses and the city limits just didn't quite add up. So I feel like they're stretching it a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just a club and not a village, but I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not in the government. I don't come up with this stuff. But
Census.
But then I moved to Florissant, and that's when I like was raised, went to high school and everything.
What's your area code on your phone?
314.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
We just got to
I'm
make
not
sure.
636. I'm
Yeah.
not whatever the new one is. I'm a 314.
Okay, just
and
make
I'm
sure.
gonna keep it that way.
So Hazelwood, and you went to high school. We don't have to ask the high school question because I think we're past that.
McClure North. Because I know you're gonna get questions and comments. People are gonna be like, "Oh, why'd you go to high school then?" Because it's the most St. Louis question ever.
If you
I
subscribe,
went to McClure North.
If you subscribe to my Patreon when I create that, I will let you know.
Okay, well,
Fair,
yeah.
right?
This
Is
will
that
be the
fair?
behind the scenes.
No, I'm just kidding. You can probably Google it.
You probably could find it because, like, whenever I was in high school, they wrote a story about me in the yearbook because I was one of the kids that got their permit, like, right as soon as I could. And they ended up putting a quote in there that I didn't even say, that I was, like, skipping French class to do the interview and that I didn't think French was going to get me far in life. I never said that. And my French teacher was really cool, so I don't know where they got that from. But for those of you that have the yearbook from McClure North, I didn't say that. It's false
wait,
journalism.
that's actually in the yearbook?
It's actually in the yearbook.
Oh,
I
it's
wish I would have brought it.
documented.
Yeah, it's documented. And like, I remember the photo that they took. My glasses broke. It was like the week that I didn't have like any pair of glasses. So I'm just sitting here looking like this.
Oh, that's what you look like without
Yeah,
glasses.
isn't that crazy?
I
This is definitely Patreon content.
I thought this man was
the
born with
public
glasses.
cannot know about this.
I thought this man was born with glasses. Like, he just came home.
I mean, I did get glasses at like age 2.
Oh, dude, I wear glasses,
Yeah, I've never
too.
been able to see. Like, if I do this, I can just see silhouettes. Like, I got to do this.
But like with the sky right now, it's probably like a very beautiful.
Oh yeah, the
like,
sky is beautiful right
blur.
now. I see the clouds moving. Like I'm not like the bar is low, okay?
Yeah.
The bar is low for my vision.
All right, Dante. So let's go on to you. What is a this is not my degree? Because I have a few of those things.
You do have quite a few degrees.
Yeah,
Mine,
something like that.
oh gosh. I mean, I started out as an illustration major because I wanted to make cool drawings.
Before
That was like my
Canva.
thing.
Before Canva.
Before
Yep.
we even knew this was going to take over the world, I started as an illustration major, but within the first week of enrolling in classes, I switched to graphic design because I wanted to, be able to pay the bill someday. So I thought that was like a future-proof field, right? Little did I know Canva was going to come out and completely ruin everything. Everything.
It made me a graphic designer, so I'm not gonna lie.
See, it's like a secondary skill now. It's like you're like a photographer that knows how to do graphic design. You're a digital marketing specialist that knows how to do graphic design. You're a social media manager that can do graphic design. You're like so many things, and that's a secondary.
And I feel like with Canva, it gets me to a certain point, but then I get to a certain point where I'm like, okay, I got to get an actual graphic designer. So it still helps me out. Like there are times like I could take photos with my phone, but that only gets you so far to where I'm like, okay, once I get to that point, I need to get a photographer or use my camera.
Yeah, it's like
Depends
a
on
lot of those designs and templates are made from like actual graphic designers because like there's an eye for it that you have to have,
Mhm.
and like that's where all of that is like derives from. So like there's still an essential role for graphic designers, but like the number of opportunities has dwindled so much.
Mhm.
And this is like I've been doing video production for years now. Like this is what I've been doing, and I didn't go to school for it. I went to YouTube University. So I learned everything I know from YouTube and also just getting like a real world experience, like actually being on sets, shooting with other people, and then just like doing stuff on my own and like giving it a shot.
Yeah. Teaching yourself.
Yeah. That's really it. But yeah, that's how it came to like this isn't my degree, because I've always liked that phrase and I've always held the like domain name because I'm like, I'm gonna use this someday.
Did you really?
Yeah, I've held on to it for quite a while.
How much
now.
did that cost you over the years?
$12 a year.
Oh, 12 a year?
12 a year.
Oh, I thought it was 12 a month.
It's really cheap.
Wait,
You're not
what?
going to get it from me now, though. I'm going to drive that price up.
Yeah, you got to
because
trademark that.
This isn't my degree is like, it kind of encompasses everything that I do creatively outside of that thing I just threw CDC guidelines across the rooftop. Like, yeah.
6 feet for those who
Yeah,
didn't catch
it's pretty far away, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of tragic.
Finished college, you had a few jobs.
Yeah.
How has it been being a creator here in St. Louis with, you got to get paid to make a living, but we know some of those jobs are few and far between. So how has that been being a creator, or at least starting your own, YouTube page and growing?
I would say it started out like YouTube was a hobby at first where I didn't really have a clear path for it. I was just like, I know I want to do it. I know I want some part in it because, like, even growing up, like, I never watched cable. I was always like, I need YouTube. I need YouTube. And then, like, whenever YouTube Premium came out, I was on that. I was like, I don't need ads. I want to be able to watch this on any device, TV, tablet, whatever. And then my account was always the one that we watched stuff on, like, at friends' houses because I didn't have ads. So that was kind of cool.
Isn't that kind of interesting, though, that, like, there's the news or something in your basic channels and you're watching. It's still, most of that stuff's on regular television, but like YouTube, everybody can pull that up on their phone right now. They can pull it up on the TV.
Yeah. Every
tablet,
single one of you
computer.
can subscribe to our podcast on YouTube right now. Hint, hint. Everybody has YouTube on their phone Actually, I don't know that.
Maybe.
I don't know that. I know Androids do, but iPhones, I don't think they do. I think you have to get that.
No,
but you've downloaded YouTube at some point. If you haven't, I don't know what you're doing, but you should get it and subscribe to both of our shows.
And if you have an Apple phone, just get rid of
Apple phone.
An Apple. What I say?
You just call it an Apple.
An
phone.
Apple. I just got
Who says that?
Gosh, I was going to say because
Apple
YouTube.
Phone.
You got the YouTube. What's it? YouTube band, the rock and roll guys. They put their whole album on our phones. What is that thing called? I've had an iPhone for a long time. I'm not the best with technology.
YouTube did really just like
impose
impose their album on all of the iPhones.
What's the music thing on YouTube? Or
YouTube Music?
YouTube or Apple?
Apple Music.
Apple Music.
Okay,
Sorry guys.
We could debate. We could debate Apple Music or Spotify. What are we thinking?
Spotify.
Thank you. Spotify. Everybody's saying Spotify. I say Apple Music.
I didn't even know the name of it.
I say Apple Music. I'm sorry. I see. I mean, everyone except us two, I think, are on team Apple Music.
Lando also just
Deezer?
upgraded from a flip phone.
Thank you.
Wait,
you could follow our shows on Deezer as well. Yes, we're on all the platforms. I don't know anybody personally that listens on Deezer. I had to adjust camera settings because we lost a lot of light.
We had a good turnout. We literally sent this invite out last night, and
I'm gonna be honest. I maybe texted like 2 people, and then Ted was like, "Yeah, like we're gonna let everyone know," and then everybody showed up and showed out. And I mean, hopefully we don't have a lot of pizza to take home.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of good pizza. I ate half before anybody came out. But like, let's go back to being a creator here in St. Louis. What are some of the air condition just turned back on?
The air condition just turned back on.
So being a creator in St. Louis,
it's not even hot.
What are some of the hurdles that you've had to overcome?
I would say as a creator, one of the biggest things that I am very vocal about is the lack of support for St. Louis creators. And by lack of support, I mean opportunities. Because I do a lot of traveling to other cities to like go shoot with my friends that also do content creation. Like I think it was like a month and a half ago, I was in San Francisco shooting with one of my other YouTube friends. And it's like just the way that it's seen and approached in other cities is so different than here. And when I talk to my buddies that are up in New York, Chicago, they're like talking about, yeah, I just did a brand deal that was like, you know, it was like $5,000 for like a post. And I'm like, we're sitting here fighting for like free meals. Like I got a DM the other day that said like, hey, we'd love to have you come out to our restaurant and we'll give you a $30 tab free. I'm like, for what?
What can you buy for $30?
Just for me to like, just for me to follow you back? Like, what are you talking about? And it's like, I'm trying not to sound like too much of a jerk, but it's like what we do, if we like boil this down to like a very simple level, we're just advertising channels for these brands.
Yeah.
Like just how the news is, just how like magazines,
movies,
we're just another version of advertising, except we just are more personal because we're people.
Yeah.
The people are the brand. So if you approach us asking for the kind of exposure you're going to get from a magazine, a billboard, anything like that, we do expect compensation because we've also honed our craft. We do this as a job.
Yeah.
Like that's something I'm very passionate about, is like making sure that creators are compensated fairly. We have the opportunities and the support and infrastructure to set us up for success because we're putting on for the city. And what we do is an indicator of like how the city's doing. Are you struggling right now?
Yeah, I'm on mic.
The mic just.
What is?
I'm sitting here spitting facts.
I know you're.
And he's over here messing with the mic.
You got it's just falling.
It is falling.
How?
Just tell
we'll
gravity
just go this
to
way.
stop.
We're gonna go this way. But no, I mean that's real though, because it's like, I've been fortunate to have some really good partnerships that has helped. You know, like I still have an electric bill, I have a mortgage, car payment, you know, things like that. But it's like, we're going out there, we're taking our time, we're creating these videos to drive. Like I'm a marketer, like I know how this stuff works, and it's just like you gotta consider, you know, paying creators just like you would pay to if you outsource the video work, the photo work. But it's like, or to, you know, they'll easily pay let's just say a certain media entity, you know, several $1,000s to advertise. But when it comes to the humans, the actual people that are out here getting the views, getting the people into these restaurants, it's like, we'll give you the $30 tab. And it's just like
$30.
Like we love what we do, but it takes time, and it, you know, it's we just need we need that support, you know.
Seriously.
And don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of great support, a lot of great companies here in St. Louis. But I want to, just like you, I want to see us grow. I want to see us actually reach our full potential, and just giving people exposure, just giving people a free meal isn't going to cut it. Like, you know, maybe you can't pay them every time because like we get it, right?
Yeah. Smaller like trade agreements are valid.
Yeah.
Like if it makes sense for like the creator and the brand, I mean, if you have a solid trade agreement, I mean, reach out.
Yeah.
Or like if you're a creator that is like, hey, I could offer like a couple videos to you in exchange for this, shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Like, don't let that stop you, but just know going into it that like you have the right to say no, but so do they. You know?
And I mean, look at the college students, right? The name, image, likeness.
Dude.
Like that stuff.
Likeness.
People like, I mean, I get a lot of places reach out to me, and it's just like, look, like I want to see you succeed, but it's just not like my cup of tea.
This is just part one
of
a series.
Yeah. Well,
so like we are cutting it a little bit short for this episode, but also just because A, we're losing light.
Yeah.
And
no.
B, I mean, it's, you know, we're just chilling, we're vibing. And like, since we share a studio space, like there's going to be constant opportunities to collaborate. So this will not be the last time that you hear us both or see us both on an episode.
And if you want to learn more, maybe you guys will be invited next time. No, I say maybe they will. You guys will
It's
be.
It's a maybe.
But it'll definitely
We
have
don't
to
even
be
know where the next one's going to be because obviously in
ticketed.
a couple weeks, we're going to start hitting like low temperatures.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And as I told you guys, this episode was a little bit all over the place, and we hope that you all can join us the next time we do this in about 10 episodes. And actually, the back half of our conversation is on his podcast, This Isn't My Degree, and we called it After Dark because it was dark outside. You couldn't see us. And while we have Dante here, let's get into Foodie Friday. It's Foodie Friday, and today I'm here with St. Louis original YouTuber. He goes by Original Dante. You may have seen his content. He puts out some of the best in town. And so when you're not doing that, where are some of the places you're checking out in St. Louis?
Oh, I got to say, one of my favorite places to go to is Sato. Sato has just immaculate vibes, immaculate food. Like every time I've been there, it's just been like raising the bar each time. And like, it feels like you're not in a typical St. Louis restaurant. Right. So it feels like you're on one of the coastal cities. And that's just a nice like differentiation from everything else.
I agree, especially when you're walking in and you just see them like in the
it's
back.
A whole experience. And like you could just see like there's a whole like, what would you call it? Like the sushi bar or whatever?
Yeah, sushi. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like you can actually see them preparing the food. Incredible.
What about next?
Ooh, number 2, I would have to say Rated Test Kitchen, because what JR is doing, like talking about elevating an experience, like I've been there for both brunch and dinner. Mm-hmm. It's like consistently amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
I still need to do the brunch there.
You need to do the brunch. You need to do the brunch. The shrimp and grits are just wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Next.
For number 3, one of my old reliable, Corner 17. Like, I've had so many different things from there, and I order at least once a month. It's just so freaking good. Not to mention, with their takeout, they have these like thermal bags now, so that like your food is still warm, prepped, and steamy once it arrives at your door.
That's an elevated experience.
And I have like 5 of those, so thank you, Corner.
I don't think anybody else is doing that.
I haven't seen any. I order a lot of like takeout and delivery, and I haven't seen that from anyone else.
Yeah, so y'all are doing it right.
Saying, free game.
All right, last but not least,
I gotta show love to Courtesy Diner, man. Because like, talk about a diverse menu and all reliable for those late nights. You know, it's like you could just pop in. They are cash only, so keep that in mind. No debit cards, credit cards, none of that. They just want some cash. But you get a lot of value for your cash. You can like order just like an assortment of things. It's like got the classic diner feel. Mm-hmm. So yeah, 10 out of 10.
Awesome. And how can people follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram and YouTube at Original Dante. And you should follow the podcast as well at This Isn't My Degree. And you can find it on all major audio streaming platforms.
And for a full list of everything Dante just shared with us, you can check out at STL Bucket List and at Oakcast the Pod on Instagram. So eat up, St. Louis.
Be sure to follow.